everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Student Fyre podcast, live from the Speak Fyre studio. My name is Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I'm here to help you live your best life today. What's going on, everyone? Bobby Berg here. Welcome back to another segment of Student Fyre, powered by Speak Fyre. Yo, I gotta talk to y'all real quick. I don't know if a lot of you are into video games or not, but I really love video games. And there's a game that's been in development for a while that I've been really looking forward to called Cyberpunk 2077. It's about a post-apocalyptic world, not really post-apocalyptic, but it's more of a futuristic society. And the game just looks awesome. The open world is phenomenal. The characters look so well done. The detail that's been put into these characters is just, I've never seen anything like it. And I just got word that the game is getting delayed for a couple months. I don't remember exactly when it's getting delayed. It was supposed to come out in April, and I was really looking forward to it. And I just found out, well, okay, we gotta wait a little bit. You know, I've been writing this book also, and I've been taking some elements from these various video games that I've been playing and watching and this and that. And not that I'm not putting them in the story, but they're more of a, how to put it, I'm taking inspiration from these characters and from these studios that have made these wonderful works. And today, I was in the middle of writing, I got to Starbucks, sat down, got all excited, turned my playlist on, focused, was ready to go. I even had my coffee right in front of me, it was perfect. And I had my mom call me, and she's dealing with some things at home, and I was like, all right, let's talk for a little bit. And couple minutes of venting turned into 20 minutes of venting, which turned into an hour of venting, which turned into a whole hour and a half of really heavy conversation. And it made me really start thinking about this, because I'm so focused on getting this book written. But I want the first draft done by February 3rd. I said, Bobby, give yourself the time, give yourself all of January. You can do this. And for me, when I really want to get focused on something, have any of you ever had this happen where you sit down, you turn your awesome playlist on and you're ready to focus and you're like, I'm going to get this done now. And then you realize after a little bit, yeah, that's not going to happen, because something during your day throws you off. Something that's going on kind of makes you not really be able to focus that hard. Well, this conversation completely threw me for a loop, because after we got off the phone, I tried typing a couple things and I made a couple paragraphs. And they were just bad. They were really bad. And that's not me being super critical. That's just being honest. I feel there's very much a difference between being overcritical and being too on yourself, to also looking and going and saying, yeah, be honest with yourself, man. That was just not good. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to type and it's just not working. And after a while, I just stopped. I closed my Google Doc. I opened up YouTube and I checked out a couple of videos that I've been meaning to watch for a while, just to get my mind off it. And before I knew it, I looked at the time and I'm going, oh, dude, what happened? This was supposed to be a 5-minute break, which turned into a 30-minute break. Okay. And I did something crazy, and I just closed my laptop and sat there for a minute and pulled out, I don't know if y'all have not checked out the book Trendsetter by Aisha Thomas, who's the host of the Internal Fire podcast, you need to give that book a look. I'm telling y'all, order it. I'm telling you, it's not just because I'm associated with Aisha, and it's not just because I think she's a phenomenal person, but y'all, you have to check this out. There's so many good nuggets in there for anybody that's going through something, for anybody that needs some guidance on how to become the best them that they can be. Y'all, if you want to be a trendsetter in this world, you got to check this book out. But real talk, I pulled out her book and I just started reading it. And as I'm reading it, I'm going, she made this book very simple, very easy to understand. And you can tell there were points where as she was writing, she took a second to breathe and stopped what she was doing. Like maybe she was in the middle of a chapter and said, you know what, I'm not in the right headspace, I gotta come back to this. Y'all, if you need to take time to yourself, please do it. if you feel like you're going through your day and you can't focus, you're doing your homework and everything's just, it's not making sense, close the book, walk out of the room. In American society, we have this really big concept where you need to always A, be hustling, B, always need to be grinding, and C, you always need to be working towards your goals 24/7. I don't know why we're like that. I know that it helps a lot of people, and it's really ambitious. But for some people, y'all just don't operate that way. And that's not to say that if you need to take a break, that you can't operate, with that hustle all the time. Because you can. Everyone does. And I'm not saying this hustle has to be making you money. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not going all Gary Vee on you. What I'm saying is a lot of you go through this hustle and you go through this grind phase where you're going to make your goals happen. And I'm all for that. But sometimes you need to have the wisdom to take a step back and go, hey, what are we doing? What's the plan? Am I able to stick on this grind that hard that I'm going to see it through? Or do I need to take a step back and say, wait, let's reassess. See, I got really mad when CD Projekt Red, the gaming company that delayed Cyberpunk 2077, it said, hey, we need more time for this. Y'all, it's January. This game we're supposed to come out super soon. And they said, hey, we're not going to put out a product that's bad. We're telling you that we're going to push the release date back. This morning while I was writing, I was just writing garbage and I had to sit there and say, wait, Bobby, what are you doing, man? I get it. There's a lot to be said for just powering through it, muscling through it, but sometimes you have to think a little deeper, right? I used to do this with my buddies when we were training jiu-jitsu a lot, because my buddies Bradley, Ronnie, Troy, Michael, and I taught ourselves jiu-jitsu. There was this old website, or this old YouTube channel, which is still up, called Submissions 101. And what we would do is just throw a video up and watch it 2 or 3 times so we understood what we were doing, and then we would teach ourselves the moves. And to this day, I'm still a pretty decent grappler, so I know it worked. But what we would do is we couldn't just watch the video once and just roll right into the move. We had to watch it 2 or 3 times. We had to take time to step back and remember what we were doing and why we were there. For those of you that are going through a lot, for those of you that feel overwhelmed, please don't be afraid to press pause on the grind game. I get it. Monday we grind, Tuesday we grind, Wednesday we grind, Thursday we grind, Friday, Saturday, Sunday we grind, because here at Speak Fyre, we're here to make life the best thing that it can be, not just for ourselves, but for every single listener that we have. I did a check-in the other day and I'm like, well, this isn't going well, man. I don't feel like I'm making as much progress. I don't feel like everything's going as well as it could be, but the second I stopped, took a step back and said, let's really look at what you're doing, man. I didn't realize how much progress I had made. Like, I really have done some incredible things in the past year that I never gave myself credit for, because as the grind evolves, it becomes your normal. The word normal is not a real thing. The word normal is something that's ever changing, ever evolving. It changes constantly as you change. I remember recording one episode of this podcast was a big project for me. Like, I would, set up on Sunday morning and I would record for an hour, 2, 3 hours just to make sure everything was perfect. Then I would edit, and every single snippet had to be perfect. Check out some of the earlier episodes when I really started editing. You'll hear it. Everything flows perfectly. But something that doesn't was my work-life balance. I was so obsessed with it that I didn't take time to realize that Sunday was a day of rest. Sunday was the day to recoup. Sunday was the day to spend with the family and with the kids. I don't have kids, but if you have kids, for you. But you get what I'm saying? It was time to spend with everyone, with the family, and to relax before you hop back on the grind for the next day. Well, I never did that. But after I started making episode after episode after episode, and I would reassess how I was recording, I used different techniques, I used different editing functions, and all of a sudden, Recording an episode of this podcast is fun. It's not hard. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. And now I'm not recording just one episode at a time. I'm recording 2, 3, 4, 5 and scheduling them so that I don't have to panic if something comes up this week. But to get to that point, I had to take a step back and look at what's going on. Remember, y'all, we're here to grow, but this is the time that you need to really take time for you. Don't be afraid to take a step back and really reassess what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with putting that grind on pause. I know so many, you see it all over social media, be it Gary Vee, be it Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Dan Locke, any big entrepreneur. And firstly, if anyone that I've mentioned thus far, please, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just putting a spin on this incredible message that you're putting out. Because they're all pushing that you need to work for your dream, and you do. But sometimes within that, you need to take a mental health day to chill. And I mean, live it up. Bust out the face mask. Bust out the robe. Yank out the cucumbers. Put them on your eyelids. Turn on your favorite music. I don't care whatever you have to do to have your you day. Do it. But there's nothing wrong with taking a couple extra minutes or hours or even a couple days. Keep it to 2 so your whole schedule doesn't get too thrown off. But there's nothing wrong with taking time for you. There's nothing wrong with taking extra time to put out a better product. Remember, if we're trying to make your life the best thing that it can possibly be, wouldn't you want to take every single second that you could to make sure your plan to get there is flawless first? Right? You know, Abe Lincoln always said, or I guess he said, I don't know, that if you gave me 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 3 sharpening the axe. Well, within sharpening your axe comes giving yourself a breather. Find some hobbies that you... I want you to do this for the next week. I want you to find some hobbies that have nothing to do with your grind. I mean, if they're related, that's okay, but I don't want it to be something where like, oh, Bobby, I'm trying to write a book like you, so in my spare time, I'm reading about how to write a book and publish it. Yeah, but that's cool, but do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy learning that whole process? If you do, kill it. But if you don't, look at something else. I want you to find 2 tasks, 2 hobbies, 2 leisure activities, whatever it is for you. I want you to find 2 things that you're going to stick to, that you're going to do at least once every... I want you to do these things at least once this week for both things. For me, it's going to be reading, but it's going to be reading a complete pleasure book. One of my really good friends, Nathaniel Oren, wrote a book. It's called Blood on the Icewind, and it's part of a series of books that he's writing, and I just got it a couple weeks ago, and I haven't cracked it open because I've been focused on writing my book. I'm going to do that, and also, I'm going to start journaling again. I'm going to start really digging into my journal, and every night I'm going to write down a paragraph. But Bobby, isn't that writing that could be used in your book? Yeah, it totally could. But this is something that I enjoy. Find 2 things that you love, find 2 things that you enjoy, and just take a step back and put the grind on pause. Alright? Y'all, I hope this was really helpful. I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. I know it went a little long, and I think I said in the beginning it was going to be short. Sorry. But please, if you have any tips or any topics that you would really like me to cover, please reach out to me. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every social media platform you could think of, I'm there. It's just at Bobby Berg. And most importantly, if anyone wants to be a guest on the podcast, while we have time before things get really, really busy once I start grad school again, please reach out to me. I would love to have you on. Especially students, I would love to have you here because I want to get in the field answers. I want to get in the field perspective. I know what I think you need, but I want to hear what from you. I want to hear what you need. So I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Y'all hang in there. Take time for you. And I hope to goodness you have a fantastic week. You're amazing. You're incredible. I love you very much. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. was another awesome episode of the Student Fyre podcast. Thank y'all for sticking around for this long, but I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? See, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show to apps? Like, do I have to do it individually, or can I just have one place that does everything for me? And most importantly, how do I make money from my podcast? Is that even an option? Well, honestly, y'all, your answer is Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors that want to advertise on your podcast. Yes, you. That means you can get paid to make the podcast. You can get paid to podcast the right way. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. If you want to get down on this, if you want to make your podcast a reality and you want your success and your word to be a thing, man, you already know. Hop over to Anchor and give it a start. You won't regret it. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace. We are Speak Fyre. Who are we? We are a collective of inspirational, motivational, life-guiding speakers here to help you make your best life available and real today. For everyone that's looking for anything and everything leadership, you have to check out my guy, Michael Gingras, over at Leadership Fyre. For my youth that are coming up, for those of you that have questions that need answers, go hit up Sean B. He's the host of Young Fyre, killing the game every single Monday. For those of you that have questions that go a little deeper, for those of you that need that internal fire inside of you, not just sparked, but you need those flames fanned, go check out Aisha Thomas with Internal Fire. For my fathers, y'all, you are the real MVP. Go check out my guy Jody Cedric, the host of Father's Fire. For my champions, for my people that need to be the champion of not only their day, but their entire life, man, you'll gotta check out my man Neil Legend over at Champion Fire. For my students, doesn't matter if we're talking elementary, middle school, high school, college, my graduate students, all of you, for everything student empowerment, student leadership, and student productivity, tune in to Student Fyre with me, your host, Bobby Berg. We are Speak Fyre, live every Monday morning, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You gonna wake up with us? Let's get it.
I am excited to bring you my new book, Trendsetter, 7 Steps to Radically Stand Out to Be the Best You. This book details my journey of coming to the United States and being excited to embrace the American culture. But unfortunately, my culture was not accepted, and I found myself being bullied as a young girl. And in this process, I decided that I wanted to disconnect from my culture to be more accepted into American culture. And through that process, I got so depressed from trying to fit in that I attempted suicide my freshman year in high school. So this book talks about the journey of what I did to become radically transformed, to be the strong woman I am today. This book is something that's really going to enable the reader to understand and embrace who they are, embrace what makes them special, and become radically transformed. Get your copy today at becomingatrendsetter.com. Again, that is becomingatrendsetter.com, or check it out at my website at aishathomas.org.